More infrastructure for Africa is not just about Africa. More infrastructure for Africa is about the future of the world.
This has been the first B20 on the African continent, and it's been a huge privilege to watch South Africa coordinate outcomes that are meaningful for the whole world.
In the past, the Finance and Infrastructure Taskforce has focused on climate and sustainability. This year, the shift was much more to the funding gap around infrastructure and hard infrastructure, roads, electricity production, you name it.
If you actually look at what's spent on infrastructure on an annual basis, it's around $3 trillion. You have a $500 billion a year gap and growing. And if you equate that into where we are here in Africa, that's roughly about 100 billion of missed investment.
Usually large investments have always been a bit in silos. Now the look is end-to-end. Source of funds, use of funds, and very importantly, flow of funds. You cannot expect to build a large infrastructure in Africa or elsewhere without involving the local communities. And that involvement has to happen at the inception of the project.
The capital is actually there, but we need to unlock the capital. And one lever to unlock the capital is to begin to look at local capital and philanthropic capital. And that's where we're going to see more infrastructure deals done, more bankable projects, and the risk perception that people have for investing in the continent, I think, will be reduced over time.
It's amazing how we're all very aligned to come together to make some very, very pragmatic recommendations both to the G20 and to the many countries around the world.
And our recommendations are really kind of focused on three key areas. One is around increasing the supply of investable projects. The second area is getting more capital into those projects. And then the third recommendation is really around enhancing that flow of funds from projects into infrastructure, into the wider economy.
The source of innovation for the 21st century is not the sole remit of advanced economies. It comes from developing and emerging economies.
We have abundant resources, both human and natural resources. We have what the world needs. We have to capture and retain more value on the continent. That is the way that we can find justification for the massive infrastructure that is required to unlock prosperity for us.
We need each other more than ever. For so long, we've all worked in silos, but now one of the biggest recommendations is that we have to work together. More infrastructure for Africa is not just about Africa. More infrastructure for Africa is about the future of the world.
There's a massive gap. It needs to be closed. Gap is over $100 billion. We can only raise $65 billion on the African continent. There are some things that are very basic that ought to be done, which would unleash a lot of this capital.